So after the show, First Take is headed to Cleveland. We'll be at the Hoffer House for the rest of the week, but that isn't all. We also have primetime specials tomorrow and Wednesday starting at 7. Doors open 8:30 a.m. Eastern for the morning shows, 5:30 Eastern for the primetime specials, so make sure you show up early and pack the house.
James trying to harass Curry. Curry off the dribble. Layup. Oh, the glass. Razzle-dazzle at its best.
One-on-one, the two-time MVP against LeBron James. Says, everybody out of my way. Allow me to have this dance. Beautiful. That's Steph Curry with the shot.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Lake Chalet on this beautiful Monday morning, coming to you from the West Coast. Steph Curry getting payback for last year, gentlemen. You can't hear me?
I hear you.
All right.
They're hyped, though.
This crowd's still hyped from last night. I'll wait till they settle down a little bit.
I know she's saying something.
I should know better. I'll wait till they calm down. I was just saying Steph Curry getting payback from last year. They're showing off his handles, roasting LeBron. He had 32 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists. Max, is he making up for last year's finals?
I would like to defer to the distinguished gentleman from Compton for this one.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Compton's finals?
Then I'm going to attack what he says and take him apart.
You know, it's funny that people are now making this a narrative where it's the one-on-one matchup between Steph and LeBron. Then they say, oh, it's KD and LeBron. LeBron's sitting there saying, damn, how many one-on-one matchups do I have? That said, he's not making up for last year because you can't erase our memories. We saw last year when LeBron James schooled Steph Curry. We also saw last year when he schooled Steph Curry, he let Steph Curry know, this is for you. This is for all those people out there making the assumptions that you're a better player than I am. So when LeBron James blocked his shot, when LeBron James
scream on him like your dad,
he looked
bring
at
the ruckus.
He looked at him and stunned him. Do y'all remember that moment when LeBron was like,
oh, yeah. That picture
Steph
was everywhere.
turned away.
All over
and
Twitter.
Steph turned away,
Yeah.
but LeBron gave him eye contact. Watch last night. When Steph Curry went one-on-one with LeBron, but then it didn't turn into one-on-one. Kevin Love got in the way. What the hell are you doing, Kevin Love? Move out the way. And then he makes the shot. Steph Curry knows LeBron is right there, doesn't look at LeBron. You know why? Because he knows one-on-one, I can't do nothing with you. But with KD, with crew, now I'm in the alley looking tough. So if you watch this play, it took Kevin Love, damn it. And then right there in that moment, Steph Curry had a chance to redeem himself in terms of man-to-man, you know what this is. But instead, he looks in the crowd, he defers from that moment because he doesn't want it with LeBron. He did not erase last year.
Well, I agree with that psychological profile.
Yeah.
And I want to say something. I take no pleasure in this. I love Steph Curry. I was arguing with Marcellus on Sports Nation last year before the finals. This is Steph's world. He should be the lead in Space Jam 2. But, you know, because he's the best player in the league. It shouldn't be that way. It wouldn't be that way in any other era. But the way the game is played today, this is Steph, Steph, Steph. I was proven wrong. And when you get new evidence, you got to fess up. Now, Steph Curry, I hate the fact that this is the case with him, but and because he's one of my favorite players. He comes off as a front runner. He comes off as the kind of guy that when the odds are even or when it may be stacked against him a little bit, he doesn't feel like he's giving his teammates heart. He feels like he's toned it down, and maybe he might turn the ball over, or maybe he's hesitant to shoot. And when his team gets the lead or they have overwhelming firepower, he gets very brave. Now, we've all experienced this in our own lives, whether it's, you know, in competitive sports or it might be on the street, right? Where you feel like when things are even or you don't have the upper hand, maybe you're not as boisterous.
Chill out,
and when all of a sudden you have superior firepower. So I believe that is true of Steph Curry. I also know that we saw him play less than his best self 2 finals ago, although he was still the best player on the Warriors. And then last season, although he was physically compromised, again, less than the best version of himself. So, and everything I said would suggest that I agree with you that it doesn't make up for last year. Here's why it makes up for last year. Because this is the truth. This is what LeBron James understood before anyone else understood it. This is what KD caught on to, and this applies to Steph. The details will be washed over by time and history. We will not remember the precise details. But that play, which is going to be probably the most iconic play from this series, where Steph is dribbling all over LeBron's world.
He could have just shot a 3.
Yeah.
And then celebrate.
That's how he got open.
When the Warriors win this series, let's call it, let's say the most likely scenario now is a gentleman's sweep. I think it might go 6 games. You think the Cavs might win. A lot of people say sweep. Let's say a 5-game win for the Warriors looks likely right now. If Steph Curry puts up triple-doubles and the Warriors beat the Cavs in 5 games and he's dribbling all over everyone like that, 20 years from now, no one's going to be talking about, well, you know what, really, technically, that's what they're going to show on all the highlights.
No, they're not.
And that's what people are going to remember.
No, we're going to remember those details. Just think about it. We're going to say, hey, Steph, before you got KD, were you sunning LeBron? Were you dribbling around LeBron? No, you didn't. We're going to see in that frame that, oh, that is a loaded team. We're also going to see that in that moment, Steph Curry, all he did was have a one-on-one highlight moment. That's not saying you're a better player than the other guy. LeBron is going to redeem himself in this series somehow, especially when they get back to Cleveland if his crew can show up.
Do you think Steph's the front runner too?
I think, look, this is how it is. If you're LeBron James, you're like, one-on-one, none of you guys want me.
Yeah.
And we get it, but this is a team sport.
Except KD.
So now, even KD, look, KD used to practice with LeBron James, like go to LeBron James to practice. Why? Because he wanted to go against the best. So now LeBron's like, I've taught all you guys, and now I get it. You're trying to flip the script and trying to bring it back to me. But look, does Steph Curry want it with LeBron James one-on-one? Will y'all stop playing?
Let me tell you why your point is. Let me tell you why your point is wrong. And I will go to another iconic moment in a movie, Coming to America. Now, the barbershop scene, right?
Yeah.
Because they got the way every boxing argument goes in every barbershop, at least it went back then. They talk about fighting. Sugar Ray Robinson, best pound for pound. But Muhammad Ali's too big for him, whatever. What about Mike Tyson? And then eventually some guy would say, what about Rocky Marciano? He was undefeated.
That's their one. That's their one.
That's their one. Always a white guy going to bring up Rocky Marciano. And someone who actually followed the fight game would be like, well, what, Joe Louis? He knocked out Joe Louis. Joe Louis is 137 years old, right? Someone who remembers the details will remember that Marciano didn't really knock out Joe Louis. He knocked out a faded shell of Joe Louis. No one's trying to hear that. That's what Floyd Mayweather knew about the undefeated thing. If nerds like me will be like, well, actually, Floyd never fought this guy in his prime, and that guy was too young, and that guy was too old, and all anyone else knows is that sounds like a whole lot of excuses. All I see was Floyd whip them all, right? So the finer points in those details for some old basketball people, when you and me are on the porch talking to some young kid about it, like, actually, remember, we will be clowned by all those kids who are like, all I know is Steph got him and got all those rings.
You're going to be like, you don't know your history.
Yeah. That all sounds good. Look, one, I don't want to support ignorance. So say, basically, if you don't know what you're talking about, don't talk about it. People are going to sit there and this is...
You don't believe in dinosaurs. What do you mean?
That's true. That's true. That's beyond
Ignorance is
ignorance.
bliss.
Right there. But here's the thing, Max. Seriously. Steph Curry has a chance to be in his... could win his second finals. Could be in his... He's going to be in his third straight.
Yeah.
And no MVPs? Think about it. Like, when people look back at this series, they may say Kevin Durant and the Warriors. And if they look back, they're not going to sit there and say Steph Curry got LeBron. They're going to sit there and say, one, Iguodala got an MVP before you did. And two, a new player came and took it. The master bedroom is
Well, that's
down.
a good point.
Kevin Durant's. When is Steph Curry going to be
But
MVP of
you
this
argued
series?
earlier in the show that Steph could get the MVP.
He could.
He could.
Yeah, or what if it's co-MVPs, him and Durant?
But
Right now, you could argue they could be co-MVPs.
Yeah, but the details
If it
right
ended.
there, if he doesn't
That's
take
right.
full advantage of being the best
right.
on the team.
There
he
are
hasn't
some
yet.
other details that also will make a difference. It would help Steph to win the MVP of this series.
Yep.
Don't let the details get in the way of a good story, gentlemen. Just getting started here from Lake Chalet in Oakland. How much is LeBron to blame for the 0-2 hole? We will get into that. And coming up after the break, someone who isn't afraid to speak her mind, Draymond Green's mom, Mary Babers, is in the house. We'll talk to her.
Holding my hand, I hear him saying, Mama, there go that man. You cannot, you will not.
Like I do, who, allowed me to play with my emotions and, allowed me to be emotional when I'm talking to them and use my emotions to the better for us. It's easy, so just really trying to lead this team as much as I can in the ways that I do for this team. Worrying about the officials and all that. I think at the end of the day, I think everyone talks to officials. I talk to them. But, going over the edge isn't going to win me a championship. I think I'm a pretty smart guy, and I learned my lesson. So I went over the edge before. Fool me once, you can't fool me twice.
Draymond Green has never been shy about speaking his mind in either before we get into last night, though, what's your reaction to that clip and all the heat Draymond takes? One of the dominant storylines leading into this is, can he keep his emotions in check?
I believe he can keep his emotions. One thing about Draymond is that he is emotional. And if you understand that, then you understand who Draymond is. Part of the problem is a lot of people just look at the game, oh, just somebody that's making a shot. There's a whole lot of things that takes place before the shot is even made. Draymond is a part of the Warriors' success, so let Draymond be Draymond.
Now, Ms. Babers, last year, a lot of the fans blamed Draymond for the fact that they didn't win that championship because of the suspension. How did Draymond take that personally, the responsibility of missing that game and maybe costing him the series?
Well, he took it personally because they didn't win the series, but at the same time, everything that took place during that wasn't all Draymond's fault. We all saw it, but you always have someone to blame. So being that Draymond is the one that carries all the weight, he can take it. He handles it, you know, then he just have to figure out how to channel it, come back the next season and just make amends to what happened.
So Draymond's a guy who goes from, in the draft, an afterthought, oh, maybe he'll be a good rotation piece if things work out just right, to a player now who's not only top 10 in the league, but kind of the prototype of what everyone's looking for. Everyone wants what Draymond can do. What was it in him growing up? What did you instill? What is it about him internally that created the kind of person who could create himself this way?
Well, one thing Draymond always says is that you can't measure heart. And that's something a lot of people don't have. You know, it's part of growing up in the inner city, part of the grind that you have to go through to get to the next step, to get to the next level. And Draymond would never allow anyone else to determine his success. You're only going to go as far as you believe that you can go. If you don't think you can do it, you won't. Draymond has always been able to think, I can do it. You know, and yeah, in my house, it was just like, just do it. Let's not talk about it. Let's be about it. Like I said, we was from the grind, Saginaw, Michigan. That's where it all started for Draymond. And you just got to make the best out of a situation.
And now they're up 2-0 after last night. What was your reaction to the game?
Oh, man, you know, I was just amazed at Kevin Durant. I always thought he was a good player, but now I'm seeing other things. And, you know, I know basketball a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And
You think?
and I'm just watching. Kevin Durant has been amazing.
Yeah.
People are saying he's better than LeBron.
Stop it.
I'm just saying.
Thank you.
I'm just saying.
Thank you, Ms. Babers. Even she's like,
No.
No.
I'll go this far. I used to be a LeBron fan. I will not lie.
Okay.
You know, but hey, I'm a Warrior now, so I got to put that to the back burner. But KD is he's another animal. We just got to admit.
What do you like
KD
most
is
about what
amazing.
you're seeing?
With KD, everything. I didn't even know KD could play defense. I mean, but you know, when you get on a team of guys who are as unselfish as their team is, you just play and you are allowed to be free. So I think he's just free, and you just like a bird, you just start spreading your wings, and KD just doing that thing.
Well, a lot of times, Draymond is the vocal leader of the team, and he's a great player. But Steph and KD are considered the superstars. Draymond and Clay are considered other star players. Do you think it works, or that Draymond has that personality, but Steph and KD don't seem to? In other words, would it be better for the team if KD or Steph had more of what Draymond has, more of what your son has?
That would be hard for me to say. I don't have this magic ball sitting in front of me. But at the same time, Draymond is who he is, Steph is who he is, and KD is who he is. So that's why it works. I can be you. You can't be me. So we have to figure out what we can do to help each other with what we have. And I think that's what the Warriors do.
Now, before we were talking about Draymond last year in the series, and obviously he's redeeming himself. He's staying in the game and playing well. You said LeBron got in his head. What do you mean by that?
Well, Draymond is a trash talker. So what you do to another trash talker is figure out how to talk trash. You know what I'm saying? So when you figure out what moves someone else, you can use what they do against you. And I think that's what LeBron did.
You can talk some trash, too. We've seen it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, we know the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Now, is it true Draymond deleted your account, your Twitter account?
He deleted my Twitter, my Facebook, yeah.
How do you do that? What do you take the phone out?
How's that
play keep away?
situation,
How do you do that?
how's the
I mean, they know
situation going
everything.
right now?
It's going good. I mean, first of all, he
You're
only
backfiring?
deleted because I allowed him to.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's not like I was, it's kind of funny at the time that he gets on it. You know everything about me, so you know all my past. Everything's always been the same. So you could do that, but it's not like I can't create another one, you know.
Could you imagine being Draymond Green and having someone in your life where you're like, boy, I got to keep that person under control?
Yeah.
That could be a problem.
Draymond can punk everybody on the court, but then goes home, and then you got to deal with this.
Right.
That's love.
Are you nervous at all about them heading to Cleveland? You think the Cavs will get a game? Honestly, tell the truth. You think it's going to be a sweep?
I want a sweep.
You don't think it's a sweep. I can see it in
No,
your eyes.
I don't.
You think they're going to get a game?
I think they'll get one.
Okay. I think we're kind of all on
It
that
starts
same
with one.
on that
It
same
starts with
page
one.
right now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It starts with one.
But hey, the bright side is they'd win it back here. Mary, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
with us. We
Thanks for having
appreciate
me.
you.
Appreciate it.
When we come back from Midtown for the second straight season, LeBron is an 0-2 hole, but how much is he to blame? Jeff Van Gundy with the hottest of hot takes on Kevin Durant and Golden State. The guys will tell you if they agree after the break.
Just to have this moment, time to go round. When I'm down, they gon' be saying my name, my name, my name.
Okay, platinum.
After the show today, First Take is heading to the land. We'll be at the Hofstra House for the rest of the week, but that isn't all. We also have primetime specials tomorrow and Wednesday starting at 7 Eastern. So doors open 8:30 a.m. Eastern for the morning shows, 5:30 Eastern for the primetime specials. Make sure you show up early and pack the house. It's going to be a good time.
LeBron, you supposed to you guys just need to defend home court at this point?
Well, I mean, are you a smart guy?
I think so.
I think so, right? So if we don't defend home court, what happens?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
I'm asking you.
Well, yeah, then you guys are looking at getting swept.
All right. So to answer your question.
LeBron, did you get any? Are you going to need? Did you get any, or will you need any IVs?
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Just need some food and some wine. I'll be all right.
Hey, LeBron. Usually you're a podium guy. I mean, in the finals especially. Is just coming doing this in the locker room any reason for that?
Yeah, there's a reason.
You want to share?
No.
When Kyrie's having a rough night.
That has nothing to do with wins and losses, though.
Reporters just taking care of a little town business right there. First Take coming back to you from Lake Chalet here in Oakland. This crowd is so hype. Our First Take fam traveling like always. We appreciate them, and of course you at home. Halftime here on First Take. And you guys just saw it. LeBron, he was in a mood, gentlemen.
Some kind of way.
He was feeling some kind of way. He was a little chippy there.
Yeah.
He didn't go to the post-game press conference. He took questions from the locker room. He just needs a little food, a little wine. Will, I'll start with you. How much of the Cavs' issues are on LeBron's shoulders?
Well, a lot. I mean, that's what being a leader is. We had this discussion the other day. Leadership is not about getting yourself motivated. Leadership is not about getting yourself ready to play. It's about getting those around you ready to play. It's about dictating the way the game is played. The last I looked, basically, LeBron James is the GM of the Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, David Griffin has a job as well. He does a fine job, but it's LeBron James. If he wants Kevin Love, he gets Kevin Love. If he wants to come back and play with Kyrie, he gets to come back and play with Kyrie. He gets the players around him. So if he has a problem with his squad, as you keep saying, that he's not crewed up. By the way, Kevin Love is averaging, 22 a game?
Oh,
he had
balling.
27 last night.
Yeah,
Kevin Love is playing.
Yeah.
So if there's a problem with this squad, well, that's partly on LeBron. How about the way they're playing? Pace of the game. 108-point pace last night. Way above what the Cavs are used to playing. Well, that's on Ty Lue. But you know who else is the coach of that team? LeBron. LeBron is GM. He's coach. He's player. We talked about his defensive woes. In all three phases, the Cavs are failing. That's on the leader, LeBron.
They are grown men, and this isn't their first rodeo for Kevin Love and Kyrie. Let's keep that in mind.
Well, but leadership exists. It's true. They're grown men. But there's a reason that people hire motivational speakers. There's a reason why you have head coaches in your football locker room to tell you when it's time to get ready to play. Some guys need that message. Not everybody. Some guys are grown men. And if you're the leader of the team, it's on you to make sure.
Well, it's great to hear it. And I understand leader can be audible and you can say something that can motivate me. But ultimately, that's on me, the player. Ultimately, it's on me, the individual, to step up to that situation. Look, before I need to hear it, I want to see it. And that's the difference between this team and Golden State. Cleveland is sitting there saying, Kyrie, there was a conversation of you being top 10 maybe this year. Let's see how you play. In these finals right now, you're dropping out of those rankings. But then you look at the other side, you see Golden State, and they got two guys in the top 3. Steph and KD are sitting there saying, I'm 2, you're 3. No, you're 2, I'm 3. Whatever that is, they have a better team that is actually showing up. Respect. That said, LeBron James, the only thing I will blame him for is his defensive issues so far. And it's only happening because he's out of balance, because he's trying to do so much that he's not taking care of his responsibility fully.
And because Father Time is undefeated.
Well, Father Time is undefeated, but we know in the NBA it's a team defense game as well, and you need your team to help you on defense. So when you don't have Tristan Thompson has 8 rebounds in the first 2 games. 8 rebounds when he averaged 10 per game last time in the NBA Finals. You look at J.R. Smith. He hit the first shot of Game 1 and hasn't made a bucket since. You look at his team, they're not showing up as expected, as advertised.
Look, the reason I let you two waste all that time is because I knew that you really wouldn't address the question. Let me explain what this question's about. Is this all on LeBron? Yes, but not because of these details. Why is it all on LeBron? What's all on LeBron? The Golden State Warriors are better than the Cavs. Nothing the Cavs can do. Golden State Warriors have overwhelming firepower because, as I said, and as LeBron pointed out after Game 1, they added KD to a 73-win team. So why is it all on LeBron? Because LeBron was the modern athlete who figured out, as I said earlier, details in the end aren't going to matter. They're going to be counting chips. Let me go join a super team. And he joined Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh in Miami. Then when they started getting a little long in the tooth, he looked over at Cleveland and said, Kyrie. Yeah. Remember them playing in the All-Star game together. I kept watching LeBron feed Kyrie, thinking LeBron likes playing with this guy. Even when LeBron's on ball and Kyrie is off ball, there's something there. I want to play with Kyrie. He has crazy upside. We need someone else. Oh, they got the #1 pick in the draft? Flip that into Kevin Love. Okay, so LeBron figured that out and basically created unfair advantage teams. Nothing wrong with that. Jerry West created an unfair advantage team with the Lakers when he traded for Kareem, or when Kareem was on the team, and then they drafted Magic and they pulled off a heist for James Worthy in the draft. That was an unfair team. Red Auerbach did the same thing in Boston with Bird and McHale and those guys. Unfair team. Same thing happened in Chicago. Jordan, Pippen, Kukoc, Rodman, unfair team. But LeBron was the athlete who said, I'm not going to rely on the man to do it. I'm the man. I'm going to do it. And KD looked at that and said, okay, I'm going to do the same thing. The difference is KD didn't try to construct his own team. KD went to a team with outstanding player development. Steph Curry was the 7th pick in the draft. Klay Thompson the 11th. These weren't the top 3 picks in the draft. Draymond Green's a 2nd-round draft pick. But because of player development on the Warriors, where they not only coach him up, but they coach him up in a system, Durant just slotted himself into that and said, okay, LeBron, I got your message. This is on LeBron because he showed these guys the way, and KD just upped the ante. It's all on LeBron. Drop the mic!
That was a pretty hot take, Max. I'll give you that.
Marcellus.
I've heard it before, though.
I think the truth is the position that both Max and I hold on this is one of respect for LeBron. It's not a respectful position for LeBron to, what we just debated a few segments earlier, the best player or second best player on the face of the planet, to look around and blame those around him when he's had a hand in A, setting the historical precedent, B, being the GM of this team and creating this specific roster, C, dictating the way they play as essentially a player coach, and D, as being a player who's not playing defense on the court. That's respect, telling you you're better than this. This is on you, LeBron. If your team is performing this way, it's your fault.
It's not on LeBron. LeBron is sitting there saying, and the reason why LeBron's in that locker room physically, he probably wants to get some extra treatment, some extra work, and the podium press conference is not the priority right now. Take care of your body. Second part is, let's be real. LeBron James in his mind is thinking, I don't lose to that team. I don't care if KD is there or not if my team is with me. Think about it. When Golden State won the finals, it's because no Kyrie basically after Game 1 and no Kevin Love the entire series. Last year when he had his crew and they played, Kevin Love didn't play well, but Kyrie went there. Now, all he's saying is just show up. I'm not telling you guys be LeBron James in your own world. Just beat Kyrie, beat Kevin Love, beat Tristan Thompson, We can handle this.
They can play better. We all agree. But how much of a role does LeBron have in that? When we celebrate you as a historic figure for coming back 3-1 last year, we also look at your failure to do that this year so far and say it's on you.
What else can he do?
This is KD going to the Warriors. It would be like LeBron going to the Spurs. It's not, LeBron's trying to put this team together, Frankenstein it. Kyrie never won without. Even Kyrie and Kevin Love, when LeBron doesn't play, I know the team's geared around LeBron, but if you're in the freaking East and you have Kyrie, Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, and shooters everywhere, you shouldn't have a sub-500 record when LeBron doesn't play, but they do. KD went to a system, to a machine, and put them over the top. LeBron, you showed him the way. Did you improve on the design? Did you do something new? Yeah, he did. He did.
All right, Max, I got another hot take for you. This one we don't need the microwave for. Paging Jeff Van Gundy.
One of the best duos to play together, maybe ever. Kevin Durant coming off the pick and roll. That's just unguardable. And Steph Curry. Yeah, I said it. The best to play ever together.
Max Kell?
Yes.
Best tandem ever,
Well,
KD, Chef Curry?
This pains me to go at Coach this way because Coach Jeff Van Gundy was the great coach of my beloved Knicks in my teenage years. And he is an unbelievably great broadcaster. Let me just say that. I don't want him to ever coach again because I need to listen to him on the games like all day. He should be on every basketball coverage. Every show should have Jeff Van Gundy. That said, he has lost his mind. KD and Steph are not even in the conversation. I will give you 3 pairs that they will never be better than. Okay. Jordan and Pippen. Look, if you had to take a player right now, Pippen or Steph, I think I'd take Pippen. That's a Pippen.
And
Pippen, Scottie Pippen. Look, compare their defense. Is Steph a better offensive player? Yes, but compare their defense. And when Jordan retired, Pippen, one of the 2 best players in the NBA, along with Hakeem Olajuwon.
And they won 55 games.
And they won 55 games, and a bad call stopped them from going to the finals. Pippen was a great two-way player, and Jordan's the best of all time by a margin. How about Kareem and Magic? At the end of his prime, Kareem, who was still the MVP of the league, with a point guard who, as a rookie, when Kareem went down, dropped 42, 15, and 7 as a center in the finals. You're never going to catch Kareem and Magic, the greatest center and point guard to ever do it, right? I mean, that's just not going to happen. How about Kobe and Shaq? Explain to me, like, put those 4 guys in order. Shaq 1, Kobe 2, KD 3, Steph 4. So if your best player is not as good as the second best player in the other duo, how are you better than that duo? Let alone guys like Wilt and Jerry West, and they're all different kinds of combinations that are on this level. But the 3 I just mentioned, Steph and KD simply don't have a chance to be better than.
Yeah, I can't say Jordan Pippen, even though Jordan, the greatest player of all time. Pippen, not a top 10 player all time. So by those
Tipping the scales for you with that.
No. Let's go LeBron, D-Wade. Damn you, D-Wade. Why'd you get old when LeBron showed up? Kobe, Shaq is probably the top of that pyramid.
The 2 best players in the game are on the same team.
You got a young Kobe and you got a prime Shaq. Oh, that's a lot. Magic Kareem, obviously, but we saw Kareem coming down the hill a little bit as Magic was ascending. So I was
downhill for Kareem is still looking down on everyone's head
with an indefensible shot. Right, I give you that. But for this duo, one, we got to respect that. Are we even at halftime of this duo? Or are we in the 3rd quarter of this duo? They are still writing chapters.
We're warming up.
Right. And all time, where will Steph and where will KD be? Just hypothetically. You already know you probably could say top 20 KD for sure. And Steph, it depends on how we marginalize his defensive play. But I think he's going to be a top 25, 30-ish player. That said, that combo's not enough. That combo's not enough to get on the court. What if they played 2-on-2 basketball and Kobe and Shaq walked out and Steph and KD showed up? They would say, don't even shoot. Don't even play.
You guys.
That is not a chance.
Okay, first of all, you're right, Coach Gundy is a little early to this party, okay? Like, I like to come early, clearly, to the party, but this is a little much for me.
Yeah.
They don't compare to the names you guys are rattling off.
No.
I would add Duncan and Parker. When they were in their prime
together, I would not want to hear that. No,
but the key,
Duncan and Parker?
Duncan and Robinson for a year, maybe.
Duncan and Robinson, 99 or something.
But the key to this question is the first word in the sentence, can. Can is about the future.
Yeah.
And you started to get to it, Marcellus. This is the first year these 2 were together.
That's true.
And we're having a conversation, granted, very, very early, Max. Very, very early, thanks to Coach Van Gundy.
No one's at the party. No.
Just Jeff right now. But when this thing is all said and
Party's
done,
on Tuesday, you're there on Sunday.
when this thing's all said and done, these guys can be part of this conversation. They can be part of this party. It's year one. You're looking at possibly the best team. We had this debate yesterday. The best team in the history of the NBA playing right now, led by these two guys. If these two guys continue to play together for, what are we looking at, 3, 4, 5 more years like this, stacking rings on top of each other, it's a lot to get to 6.
Do you agree with that?
I would say this, if you're talking about overall team accomplishment and then take the 2 best players on the team, you can have an argument. But
it's not a 2-on-2
The
game.
problem is that Steph is simply too small, really, to be in the conversation, and it manifests itself in the defense. You know, I mean, so there's that. And even in his offense, Steph is incredibly well adapted for this offensive era. There's no question about it. But even then, he's really not one of the 2 best offensive players. So the defensive liabilities, the kind of cap on the offense, as great as KD is, it's just not enough. Because it's always relative. You're comparing them. When Shaq and Kobe were on the same team, they were the 2 best players in the league. 1 and 2 were on the same team in the early and later parts of their prime. When Kareem and Magic were on the same team, they were 2 of the 3 or 4 best players in the world and the greatest center and point guard of all time, at least in the modern era, on the same team. And Jordan and any crime partner who's going to be a Hall of Famer is going to be tough to beat. So
You're saying it's never going to happen because
He's saying it's
Steph?
impossible. He's saying it's impossible.
The qualifier has to be one of the 2 has to be the best player in the game. Just think about that. And
That's
right
going
now,
to happen.
Well, it's
That's
not,
going to happen.
It's not there yet.
You sure?
It's
not
happening.
there
How
yet.
about Anthony Davis? How about Karl Anthony Towns? There are other guys, not just KD, in the league who are really, really good.
Yeah.
I'm happy to have that debate when you're ready. KD versus those guys?
Yeah, Anthony Davis, I wouldn't say...
Don't worry,
if
we got
KD's
plenty
better
more
than
shows.
Anthony
We
Davis,
actually got double headers the next 2 days, so we can get into all
Anthony
that.
Davis might be
All
better
right.
than KD right now, as a matter of fact.
All right, let's save
Anthony
that.
Davis,
We'll save
game
that. Our
for game, might have been better than KD for the
We're
last
going to take a
year.
quick break here.
that might be real.
KD pulling off magic, but has he passed LeBron